So last time we did a warm-up drill, for those of you who weren't here, we were going kind of double grip here. And again, the drill is to warm up the hips and get like the arm bars moving. And you're not gonna arm bar typically with double sleeve like this, but we're trying to practice getting 90 degrees on the person and know what we needed to do to get there. We're gonna kind of go back to actually how to get the arm bar properly, and then we'll do a little bit of this drill again. Eventually, what we're gonna build up to over the coming weeks is we wanna be able to have this one grip here that creates a bunch of attacks. So I use this a ton, like just rolling with like challenging people or in competing. This grip here, and you'll probably recognize this, I did a sweep quad. This works very well. And then once we start adding our arm bars in, we can mix the two. There's also an entire series when people stand up. So there's a ton of stuff we can do between the sweep. Yeah, if he stands up here, a lot of times people are lost, right? And I mean, you can do the muscle sweep where you push here, but really, if we can get foot on the hip, start to do this kind of stuff, we can either go here, and we can do the kind of arm bar we were talking about last time with the sweep. We can go straight to the sweep. There's a bunch of stuff that comes all off of right grip on left, like same side, and then pivoting the body this way. So keeping that in mind, that's kind of the path we're going to be building the next little while. So looking at the arm bar kind of more broken down, I like to teach it this way, and there's always going to be different things that are happening during a roll. If people get overly, aggressive on a cross stroke, it can kind of be there on its own, right? You can just kind of cross your arms, and sometimes you can just shoot up your hip and go straight to it. But if he's being kind of like neutral, and he's here, we're going to start with this grip, tricep grip, and I like to go under this arm and wrist grip here. Now, always pulling a bit here. So we don't want to pull his whole body onto us, because if his hips are like this, unless you're really crazy flexible, it becomes very hard to pivot. So we want to keep his knees down, we want to pull the upper body a little bit stretched out, and we're going to go right here. So we're going to go right foot on his hip, and we're going to do this motion here. So this is very similar to what we talked about last time. We have an anchor here, and then this is the pendulum, right? Same way that we switch back and forth when we're going side to side. So this is my anchor. Hamstring has to be contracted down. If you point your toes here, it automatically makes your hamstrings weaker. Right? It makes you want to kind of pinch instead of anchor down. So instead of, they say ballet feet, squat feet, heel down. Then you're going to keep your left hand like a cross grip. This one is going to go here. The reason is because sometimes people drive their head towards you when they know they're in danger. So you want to be able to frame off the head and go here. And then here you would finish, thumb up, and back. Don't worry too much about the finish. Worry about controlling the arm. The finish, if you have everything else, is the easy part. You can try on both sides, but really I want everyone to kind of focus on what side feels most comfortable. Because one of the benefits of closed guard is, unlike half guard, you might not always be on your preferred side. Closed guard, you typically have more control of which side you attack, because you can switch from defense to offense quickly. So if I was going to go on this side, if you're going to do more lefty with your lower body, again, I want to keep the upper body stretched here, and then we turn this way. Now, the lower one, the one closest to the hand, very important, stays here, and stays pulling a little bit the whole time to keep that stretch. Then if he tries to lean into me with his head, I want to block, bring this one up, thumb up, and rigid. So there's the squat feet, there's a bit of squeeze with the legs together, and then an arching up. The biggest error I'd say I see when people are doing arm bars at first, you can go higher with this cross grip too. I find that this is a nice simple way to teach, but you can get higher onto the tricep eventually too. People will they'll have too much space away from the person, and then often this one will come up, and I think this happens mostly when people use too much hamstring and adductor, not enough glute and hip. So instead of going like here and then circling the whole hip and going here, the kind of instinct, if you're not conscious of what's firing, is kind of like this. And this is like, he can stack and just drop his head into me. Even just keep going this way, like keep turning, yeah, like this. And he can pass quite easily, threaten me. That all can come because my hip wasn't in the right spot. Okay, so whenever I'm arm barring here, when I pull this way, here, I want to be able to see his ear basically, like I'm totally perpendicular. And even preemptively, I might push off his head a little bit because I don't want to let him collapse. It becomes even harder to get that circular motion. So I want to keep him here, and I want to come here. Now when I'm here, I don't want to let him start posturing up. I keep this, right? I want it to feel threatening so that if he has to go up, I can push back and I'm stronger there. Last time if you were here, we looked at what happens when you're here and they start trying to clench your knee in, and you get this side, and you can actually come right out here. That was the one we did last time. Okay. So we're kind of going backwards, reverse engineering it. So let's see how we do with that one.